with a power tie. And then, when you become a power broker, a real powerhouse, then you experience both the power and the presence. DeVille, breakthrough. Now get a Cadillac DeVille with this attractive offer at your Cadillac dealer.
Remember, when you see news in the making, give us a call.
In either Miami-Dade or Broward, 866-658-TIPS is our tip line.
And that's your 6 o'clock news. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 11 for CBS 4 News tonight. Now it's time for the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. From all of us, good night.
Good night.
Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer. The first conviction in this country growing out of the 9/11 attacks, and the terrorist says he was planning to attack the White House. We start there tonight, then we'll report these stories.
I'm Lee Cowan in Baghdad. Just who's responsible for the downing of a civilian chopper? Even the insurgents can't agree. I'm John Blackstone in San Jose, where Wendy's hopes an arrest is the recipe to end a corporate crisis.
Cyber coupons are just a click away, but some stores say keep away. I'm Cynthia Bowers with a consumer alert.
I'm Sharon Alfonsi on why big ticket lotteries are betting you'll buy tickets on the internet.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Zacarias Moussaoui pleaded guilty as expected today to plotting with the 9/11 attackers, but he told a federal judge in Virginia he was to be part of a follow-up attack at a later date, not the attack on the Twin Towers of the Pentagon. Here's Jim Stewart in Washington. Jim?
Well, Bob, the government got the guilty plea it had been hoping for, but Moussaoui vows he will fight the death sentence. And as he has insisted all along, said he was never part of the 9/11 conspiracy, but had been training for a different target altogether. 6 times U.S. District Judge Leona Brinkema asked Moussaoui, how do you plead? And 6 times, flanked by U.S. Marshals, Moussaoui replied softly and politely, guilty. But after reading and then signing a statement of facts admitting his guilt, Zacarias Moussaoui launched into a familiar rant against the United States. I will fight every inch against the death penalty, he said, because everybody knows I am not 9/11. This is not my conspiracy. God curse America, he yelled while being led out. Instead, Moussaoui pointed out he had trained on Boeing 747s, not the smaller commercial jets the other 9/11 pilots trained on. His target, he said, was the White House in what would have been a secondary wave of attacks. That tracks with intelligence findings that Osama bin Laden himself was pushing for an attack on the White House and had personally met with Moussaoui. Remember your dream, he told the young French-born jihadist when approving the plan. Moussaoui also admitted to training in al-Qaeda camps in Afghanistan, to receiving money for flight training from 9/11 coordinator Ramzi bin al-Shibh, and to knowing in general terms of the 9/11 plot to attack tall buildings in the United States. 9/11 family members said that was enough.
Satisfaction of what to me was an unconditional surrender. He pled guilty to all of the counts.
Next up is the sentencing phase. The government cut no deals on this case, Bob. They want the death penalty. A jury will likely decide.
You know, Jim, from the beginning, his lawyers argued that he wasn't competent, that he was mentally deranged, so much so he didn't know what was going on. But I take it the judge didn't buy that.
No, the judge didn't buy it. This man's no fool. He's got a master's degree. He speaks 3 languages. And don't forget, he tied the Justice Department up in knots for 3 years. In fact, Judge Brinkema today paid him an offhand compliment and said, you seem to know more about the law than many lawyers who've worked before me, Bob.
Thank you very much, Jim. Moussaoui's guilty plea came as a trial opened in Spain for 24 al-Qaeda suspects charged with a variety of terror plots. The 24 men appeared in a bulletproof glass cage in a Madrid courtroom. The lead defendant allegedly ran a cell that provided logistical support to the 9/11 plotters. In London today, a judge sentenced an admitted shoe bombing conspirator to 13 years in prison. Zahid Badat confessed that he plotted to blow up a U.S.-bound plane with a bomb hidden in his shoe, just as convicted terrorist Richard Reed actually tried to do. One of the most effective weapons in the war on terror is turning out to be a terrorist. He was convicted of planning an attack in Los Angeles during the Millennium celebration, and he has been talking ever since they put him behind bars, naming names of fellow terrorists. Jerry Bowen now has that story.
Since his conviction for crossing into the U.S. from Canada 5 years ago with a trunk full of explosives and plans to blow up Los Angeles International Airport, would-be Millennium bomber Ahmed Ressam has been giving up former al-Qaeda colleagues around the world. More than 100 people in all. Al-Qaeda recruiter Abu Zubaydah, captured in Pakistan. Abu Doha, alleged mastermind of the failed L.A. bombing, now in British jail. And jailed shoe bomber Richard Reed.
I think Ressam was a significant person because
former FBI Seattle office director Charlie Mandigo says Ressam's photographic memory stunned investigators and likely saved lives.
He has made it safer for us both in the United States, and he has made it safer for people in some other foreign countries.
Ressam spent the last 5 years at this federal detention center here in Seattle. And yet for all the al-Qaeda terrorist operatives he's fingered, the one who may have mattered most never came up until it was too late. Too late to possibly head off the 9/11 attacks.
In essence, we missed many opportunities to derail or to intercept 9/11 that look extremely clear in hindsight.
One opportunity was the arrest of Zacarias Moussaoui in Minnesota 3 weeks before the attacks, as the 9/11 Commission noted.
After 9/11, the FBI learned that Millennium terrorist Ressam, who was cooperating with investigators, could have recognized Moussaoui from the Afghan camps.
Ressam knew Moussaoui from the Afghan terror camp where they trained together. Moussaoui had taken flying lessons in Minnesota, just as some of the 9/11 hijackers had in Phoenix.
If the FBI or anyone else had put together the information coming from Phoenix with information coming from Minneapolis with Ressam, we might have been able to anticipate 9/11.
Facing 130 years in prison, Ressam may get 35 or less in exchange for all the al-Qaeda secrets he spilled. Plenty of time to rue the day his jumpiness tipped off an alert U.S. Customs agent. But it wasn't a case of nerves. Instead, Ressam had a recurring attack of malaria fever from a mosquito bite he got back in the terror training camp. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Seattle.
In Iraq today, there's no let-up in the recent surge of violence. Another American soldier was killed by a roadside bomb west of Baghdad. In the capital, a car bomb blasted a Shiite mosque crowded for Friday prayers. 8 worshipers were killed there, dozens were wounded, and there are new pictures of a deadly attack yesterday. Lee Cowan now with that.
There have been so many terror attacks here lately that rival militant groups are now scrambling to claim responsibility for whichever is the most spectacular. A group called Jaish al-Mujahideen says that they were the ones that shot down a commercial chopper yesterday, killing 6 Americans and 5 others. To prove it, their video shows the helicopter being shot out of the sky. As disturbing as this video is, it pales in comparison to what a different militant group, the Islamic Army in Iraq, claims to have done after the chopper crashed. A shaky camera stumbles on what appears to be the Bulgarian pilot, the lone survivor of the attack, lying in the grass.
Give me a hand.
He's ordered, though, to stand up. But he can't, he says, because of his injuries. He's forced up anyway. And as he's limping away, he's suddenly shot more than a dozen times. Terror experts aren't surprised.
In the minds of the insurgents, everybody is fair game to them.
This particular video was so outrageous, even the Arab channel Al Jazeera refused to show the shooting itself. But it had no problem broadcasting this militant group's video, threatening to kill an American translator along with 3 Romanian journalists in the next 4 days. The U.S. military says the move to more civilian targets is an indication that the military targets are getting harder to hit.
I think what you're seeing is a terrorist effort that's trying to adapt to be more successful.
A sign they're desperate, say some, but that desperation is becoming increasingly deadly and increasingly bold. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Baghdad.
President Bush today chose Marine General Peter Pace to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, succeeding Air Force General Richard Myers. Pace is 59. He's a Vietnam vet and architect of the Pentagon's role in the war on terror, and the first Marine ever selected for the nation's top military post. He's expected to win easy Senate confirmation. On the Money Watch, after yesterday's huge rally on Wall Street, stocks resume their losing ways. The Dow lost nearly 61 points today. NASDAQ gave up 30 for the year. The Dow is now down nearly 6%. The NASDAQ is off more than 11. CBS News business correspondent Anthony Mason now has more about that.
The weather's been stormy on Wall Street as investors have endured weeks of turbulence.
So how are you feeling about the market right now?
Little uncomfortable.
Walter Adamson and his wife Ray Dunn from Seattle have seen their 401k take a hit.
So you're not sure what to do?
We're really not.
Just last month, it looked like the Dow would crack 11,000 for the first time in nearly 4 years.
A month ago, we were worried about the economy overheating, possibly leading to inflation.
But this month, the Dow has done a nosedive, threatening to fall below 10,000. Trader Stephen Purpura says investors have looked at the numbers and are saying,
you know what, this economy isn't that great.
The markets haven't been this volatile in years, and it's happening because the economy is sending mixed signals. Corporate profits are strong, but higher gas prices are hurting. Like these billboards on a New Jersey highway, they tell two different stories. On one side, Hooters is now hiring. Across the street, a furniture store is going out of business. But don't worry, says economist Mark Bittner, the economy is just slowing a bit.
We're not on the exit ramp. We're still barreling down the highway. We're just not doing 80 miles an hour.
After accelerating the past few years, the economy may be downshifting. But as investors try to figure just what speed the economy will be cruising at, the markets may yet hit a few more bumps in the road. Bob?
Yesterday, after saying all this time that he was for tax cuts, Alan Greenspan, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, said he now expects that in order to bring the deficit into line, the government may have to raise taxes. Do you think that has anything to do with what we're seeing here in the market?
That's not. Alan Greenspan, of course, doesn't control taxes. He does control interest rates, and that's what the market is really worried about. We know interest rates are going to go up. The question is how far. Some people are concerned Greenspan may raise them so much the economy may slow down. Bob.
But so far, Hooters is okay.
Hooters looks like it's doing all right.
Okay. Coming up, there's been an arrest in that bizarre case involving a Wendy's restaurant. We'll give you the inside story. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes Andrew Aviles. Someone once called him Mr. Everything. He was an athlete, a cheerleader, a high school class president. Graduated third in his class, and he had a great sense of humor. His take on Iraq was plenty of beach, but no water. Aviles was killed by enemy fire. His family says he brought joy to all who knew him.
If you have trouble sleeping, something's on its way that could change your nights. You'll find out all about it on April 24th. Are you ready?
Here's to your couch. What better way to care for it than with new and improved Febreze? Now with Cleanse Air, a unique new formula that eliminates odors on fabrics better than ever before. Use Febreze and say thank you, couch.
Looks like heartburn.
Wait! They also have pressure and bloating.
That's gas.
We don't treat gas.
I do. Maalox Max. Fast heartburn plus gas relief.
Thanks, Max.
Maalox Max. When you have it all, treat it all.
I got a $50. Can I get a 55? Who'll give me 55? Come on, I'll give you 55. I got a 50. Come on, man.
Could Procrit be right for you? Talk to your doctor about Procrit or call 1-800-PROCRIT.
Girl power activated. Let's go. Hurry up!
With standard one-year OnStar service, available satellite navigation, and rear DVD, the Chevy Trailblazer is technology to go. Chevy Trailblazer, an American revolution.
Have you pushed the hot button yet? See your local participating Chevy dealer today.
Introducing Roundup Extended Control. It kills tough weeds fast. And now it also prevents. Just spray wherever you don't want weeds, and you won't get weeds for up to 1, 2, 3 full months. New Roundup Extended Control. Weeds have met their match.
How fast can Alavert start treating an allergy here?
This fast.
What about here?
This fast.
And here?
This fast.
That's because quick dissolving Alavert starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue, without water. So you can take Alavert wherever you are. Try non-drowsy 24-hour relief that dissolves fast, without a prescription. Alavert, allergy medicine right when you need it, wherever you are.
The police in San Jose, California say it was a hoax. The woman who claimed she found a severed finger in a bowl of Wendy's chili made up the story, and she's been charged with attempted grand larceny. Wendy's officials are relieved, of course, but it still leaves them with a big image problem. John Blackstone has our inside story.
The chilling message from one bowl of chili is that a corporate reputation can be dangerously fragile. Wendy's Vice President Denny Lynch got the late-night call that a customer in San Jose claimed she found a human finger in her chili.
When I heard of it, I knew it was going to be big.
Experts say trying to contain the problem is the first challenge. What does a company like Wendy's do when faced with something like this?
I think the most important thing for Wendy's to do is provide an alternative story.
The case became what could best described as a CSI type of investigation.
As police and Wendy's investigated, questions were quickly raised about Anna Ayala, the woman who claimed she found the finger.
They're saying you planted the fingers.
Where would I get a damn finger, for God's sake?
But the suspicions weren't enough to quell consumer doubts about Wendy's. What began with one diner's distasteful claim at this restaurant in San Jose grew into a corporate crisis literally overnight as the story spread everywhere from the internet to the late-night comedy shows. There were no laughs at Wendy's where sales at some stores dropped 50% and employees were laid off. Wall Street got concerned. Is it unfair how quickly a company can be damaged in this way?
I think it is.
The story became even worse for Wendy's when a picture of the finger was released.
Putting that picture out and broadcasting it across television was incredibly damaging because it created a grotesque visual image and one that is the hardest to recover from.
There is still no indication where the finger came from. Wendy's hopes the arrest of Ayala on charges of attempted grand theft ends the corporate nightmare. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Jose.
And coming up next, internet shopping coupons. They may save you some money, but before you start downloading them, we have a consumer alert just for you.
Silverado Heavy Duty, with the available Duramax diesel and Allison transmission, has more torque than Ford Super Duty. That's why Silverado's the right truck, the official truck of an American revolution.
Have you pushed the hot button yet? See your local participating Chevy dealer today.
Everybody's talking about the Oust fan.
This is my Oust fan. I absolutely love my Oust fan. I use it in my husband's corner. It eliminates